Chapter 2. A Warning from the Shadows. Darkness enclosed the room as Jay's flashlight flickered out, abandoning them in the eerie retinance of the decrepit facility. The last words of the figure of the shadows still echoing in his mind. "You should not have come here." Jay's heart pounding in his chest as he stumbled in the dark, his fingers quivering as he searched for a spare flashlight in his backpack. The humming that permeated the facility moments before the blackout was gone, and replaced by the confining silence that gouged him from all around. Finally, Jay had found his small handheld flashlight and switched it on. The weak beam of light jittered through the dark room, casting faint shadows across it. But from what Jay could see, the figure of the shadows had gone, vanished into the dark abyss, as if they were never there. Jay's mind hasted as he replayed the encounter with the figure of the shadows in his mind. Who exactly was the figure? How and why did they disappear into the dark abyss so suddenly? An itching doubt began to fill Jay's mind. Had Jay imagined everything? Had the depressive atmosphere of the facility played games on his mind? Tenacious to make sense of the situation, Jay returned to the file he had found with the title Project Paradox. But when he had looked at the file, the pages were scattered across the floor as if someone, or something, had searched vigorously through them in a hurry. The most critical document in the file, which enclosed the cognitive manipulation experiments, was gone. Jay's frustration heightened. This was supposed to be a fun-filled exploration, but now it had felt like he had stumbled across something far more dangerous and cryptic than he had anticipated. With a sense of urgency set in his mind, Jay began to search the room for more clues. He moved quickly, searching through the old, dusty papers and broken equipment, hoping to find something, anything, that could explain what he had seen. Anon, tucked away in a drawer of an archaic desk, Jay found a little black notebook. Its cover was worn, the pages yellowed with age. He sat flipping through it, then he discovered handwritten notes in a hurried, almost frantic font. The entries were dated several years ago, and seemed to belong to someone deeply involved in Project Paradox. One entry stood out. October 12th, 2018. The anomalies are becoming more frequent. We have pushed the boundaries too far. Something is coming through. Something we don't understand. I fear we have opened a door that we can't be closed. If anyone finds this, be warned. Project Paradox is not what it seems. The dangers extend far more beyond this facility. Leave now, before it's too late. The entry was signed with the initials RC. Jay's mind raced. Could these be the initials of a mysterious figure that he had just encountered? The warning sent a chill down Jay's back. The figure's messages, the missing documents, the strange anomalies, it all had alluded to something far more sinister at work here. Whatever Project Paradox had been, it was now clear that it had gone horrifically wrong. But instead of letting the fear take over, Jay felt a surge of determination. He had to know the truth. Whoever RC was, whether they were the figure or not, they had left these clues for a reason. Jay was not going to turn back now, not when he was so close to uncovering the hidden truth of Project Paradox. The further Jay adventured into the facility, the more uneasy the atmosphere became. The corridors twisted and turned, pulling him further away from the entrance. The peeling walls were lined with strange, outdated equipment, the monitors displaying static, wires draped from the ceiling, and old, rusted machinery in which seemed out of place in a location that was supposed to be abandoned. Suddenly, an explosion of clatter echoed from somewhere down the hall in one of the hundreds of rooms. Jay froze in place, his heart pounding out of his chest. The sound had come from around the corner. Carefully, he approached the source of the explosive noise, his flashlight trembling in his hands. As he turned the corner, he came face to face with a figure. This time, it was not hidden within the shadows, but a woman, in her 50s, dressed in an old lab coat. Her face was pale, her eyes blue and wide with fear. Before Jay could speak, the woman grabbed his arm, her grip surprisingly strong for her appearance. "You have to get out of here," she hissed, her voice trembling. "They're watching. They're waiting." Jay tried to pull away, but the woman's grip tightened, her eyes whizzing around as if she were expecting something to appear at any moment. "Who are you?" Jay demanded, his voice steady despite the fear creeping out his mind. "What's going on here?" The woman's expression was one of pure terror. I was one of the scientists here. We tried to stop it, but it was too late. The project, it's alive. It knows you're here. You need to leave before it finds you." Before Jay could ask any more questions, the woman suddenly released his arm and took off down the corridor, disappearing into the shadows. Jay stood frozen, his mind racing wildly. The woman's warning echoed in his ear. It knows you're here. But what was it? And why was this former scientist so terrified? The corridor was scarily silent again, as if the man had never been there. The only sound was the distant hum of the facility, growing louder, more persistent this time. With no other choice, Jay took a deep breath and continued forward, his determination stronger than ever. Whatever was happening in this facility, he was going to find it out, even if it meant facing the unknown head-on. As Jay ventured deeper into the guts of the facility, the shadows seemed to tighten around him. The air grew colder, the hum louder, and somewhere, deep in the darkness, was something watching, waiting, and it was getting closer.